is my work husband. This is my live work husband, Michael.
Thank you, Cher.
I don't know if this thing gets quiet or not, but we have it for sale for you. Welcome to CRAFTEX.
Welcome.
We are going to do some bows today.
Yay.
I'm going to do Halloween, and
I'm going to do fall.
you can start. Ladies start first.
Oh, thank you, Cher. All right.
Or we could do together.
Oh, no. Well, let's do one by one. I think one on one. Okay.
Are you going
Two
to
by
teach?
two.
Are you going to teach me?
I am going to teach you. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to talk to the camera.
Or talk to me?
I can. We can do
Okay.
either one.
This is my combination right here. Can y'all see that?
And this is my combination. Can you see this? I've got 3 different browns basically working on each other. I've got a monochromatic sort of look. We are dealing with the Burberry pattern. We're doing with a nice pattern here. This is a brown. It has a little bit of a chandelier pattern, and it has a little French script that's just sort of running through, I think just for a little interest. And then for some added texture, I have a really deep, dark, rich corduroy ribbon that I think is very, very pretty. And you can just see the reflection there. Thank you, Cher. With all the different threads and everything running through that, I think it's very rich looking. All right, so I'm going to work with my top ribbon. I'm going to pull this out.
What do you mean your top ribbon?
My first ribbon, because I make my bows in layers, Cher, as you know. But I think I've shown people before, but we're going to do this again. I usually start off with a short tail section, and I'm going to guess that's probably about 8 inches right there. So I'm going to crimp that, Cher. I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to make a loop. So I usually make my first loop to determine the size of my bow.
Now look at this. Look at Michael's hand and my hand. So when he says he's going to make his loop the size of his hand, my hand, hang on, my hand is not as big as his. So
But you've got big nails, Cher.
I do have
You've
big
got
nails.
lady nails.
So that makes a difference. And when someone's giving you instructions, the width of your hand, like this is what he's talking about when he puts it in the loop.
Yes.
And mine,
And quite honestly, I have measured this out. That's actually about 9 inches. So I have made that measurement for you.
well then mine must be about 7.
Okay, so I've got man hands,
You
Cher.
have man hands.
All right, so that's about 9 inches. That's a 9-inch spread right there. And that's kind of a loose spread there. That's not real tight. I could make it tighter, a little bit more snugger.
Then it would be mine.
Yes, right there. But I'm going to loosen that up a little bit because that's usually the size of the loop that I make. So I'm going to...
Point being, everybody makes them different.
Very true. So I want to show you what's going to happen if you do not twist your ribbon. So if I don't twist my ribbon, do you see what happens here? I want that pattern to come up. And if I don't twist it, I have the reverse side coming up. Now, this is not to say that this is a bad thing.
Sometimes it's fun.
Yes, if you wanted to make this work for you, you certainly could. But for our purposes, we want to go ahead and show off that pattern. So I'm going to do a half twist. So I have that pattern coming up. I'm going to come back up again. And this is a very loose measurement. It's not exact. I always show people if I need to loosen that up or tighten it up, it can go either direction. I haven't made that crimp yet. But I'm basically just, again, a loose measurement. That's 1 loop. I'm going to come up again. And again, that's a very loose measurement. I'm going to twist that again, and I'm going to have a tail section. I didn't pre-cut my ribbons like Cher did. Cher had a little extra time today. So I know just by the size of ribbons and loops that I make normally, what I use and what not to use. So this works for me. Thank you,
Because he's a
Cher.
professional.
Yeah, you're a professional too, Cher. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut that.
How do you know that you wanted just 3 loops?
You know, Cher, I just wanted 3 loops today. Could do 3.
So you do what you want to do.
Exactly, yes.
There's
because
no
I'm
set
Michael.
standard.
That's right. I'm Michael. I can do what I want. All right. Now I'm going to go with my second layer. Again, we're doing a monochromatic brown on brown. just showing off patterns, showing off textures, and I want to show this to you. You've seen that I have my short tail coming up in one direction. I'm going to go against that, and I'm going to have the short tail coming up the opposite direction, and I'll show you why that's happening, or why I'm doing that.
Michael always goes against it.
Yes.
He's a rebel. He's a ribbon rebel.
Yes. Rebel without a cause, or ribbon cause. All right, I'm starting my next layer, and if you can see this, I'm going to layer my ribbons there. That's probably about a finger, maybe 2 fingers longer than the top layer. So you can see my center loop of the Burberry. I have one on the right, one on the left. Or is that stage right, stage left? I don't know how we're doing this on camera. So I've got about 2 links right there. I'm going to twist that again.
Are you going to shout?
I'm not going to shout, no. I will not, but I could. All right, so again, that's a very loose measurement. And again, that's probably about 2 fingers length, a little extra. I'm going to do that once more.
How many loops are you doing of that one?
I'm doing 3 loops, Cher.
Again.
This is my standard recipe. And that usually works for me if I cut my ribbons. My 10-yard spools of ribbon divided by 3 is 3.33, 3.33, 3.34. Do the math. That's how it works. All right, now I'm going to cut my second tail there. And now,
ooh, it's beautiful.
thank you, Cher.
Sometimes we pick ribbons together.
Yes. And now, I showed you earlier, I have a short tail on the right, short tail on the left, and then I have another short tail on the right. So, again, I'm going to make 3 loops. So I'm going to counterbalance. If you follow this, you can see that I have 2 loops of this brown on one side, 2 loops of one brown on the other. So I'm going to go ahead and, again,
I'm going to move these so they can
thank
see.
you. That's about 2 finger lengths over my next, or my last layer, or my second layer. I'm going to twist that again.
Looks like a hot mess at this point.
Yes. Again, I'm doing that on my second loop. I'm going to make my third loop. Can you pull that out for just a second? Thank you. So that's again about the same size, and I could add another layer if I wanted to, but I've only pulled 3 ribbons for today's demonstration, and that's what I've got going for you. All right.
You could go as many as you wanted to go.
You could.
However, it might be hard to hold on to it.
Yes, and the other thing I want to point out to people, and I have many times, a lot of people will say, oh, that ribbon is so thick, my hands are only so big, I can't handle that many ribbons at once. And I have also said to people, show me what you're doing. I want to see what you're doing when it comes to holding and grabbing onto these ribbons. And I've actually seen people sweat buckets when they're holding onto their ribbon, because they're crimping and holding and grabbing onto the very center so hard that the veins are popping out of their arms. It's like, no, you don't need to do that. Loosen your grip. You don't have to do that.
But what if they fall apart?
Well, you should have a good grip, but I want to show you this. These are the 2 fingers that I'm basically working with. Or 3 fingers. I have my thumb in the very center, holding that together, and then when I'm twisting the ribbons to make my twists to add my next layers, I'm basically just inverting my two fingers here, my pointer finger, my index finger, and my thumb. So now to secure this, I'm going to slip my cable tie, my zip tie, right through the very center. And again, I'm just sort of crimping that together. You see that, Cher? Can you see what I'm doing?
Learning so much.
I'm going to pull a little tighter, and I'm going to clip that. There you go. All right. The next thing I do, where are my wires? Here we go.
Sure, you
May
can
I
have one of mine.
Thank you, Cher. I misplaced mine. I don't know what I did. Thank you, Cher.
$5.
You're so mean. I'm going to slip this through the very center. Now this wire is not to secure the ribbon together, because I've already done that with my cable tie, but with this wire, this is what you're going to actually secure your bow with, to your wreath or to your swag or to your garland or whatever it is you're doing. Now at this point I'm going to go ahead and start fluffing my bow, so you can see the way it just sort of spreads open like this. It just makes a big fan shape.
But can we talk about for a second the length of this wire? You see my wires are shorter. Michael likes to use these long pieces.
Yes.
Because what do you say, your fingers don't work?
My fingers don't work sometimes. They do get a little stiff, and it just gets a little too difficult sometimes.
So he likes to have, when he goes around, he likes to have a whole bunch left over so that he can feed it through easier for himself.
Yes.
My hands are smaller, so I tend to fold it in half, twist it, and if I need a long piece, I can interloop these two to make one just as long.
That's right. It works for you. It's great.
Yeah.
You got to do what works for you.
Works for you.
That's right. So I'm going to go ahead and start fluffing the bow that I've made. But before I start fluffing, I'm going to pull all my tails in the same directions. So all my long tails are going to come out in one direction, and then all of my shorter tails are going to be pulled up another direction. So if you can see that, I've got my short tails on top. I think I've lost a tail. Where'd it go? Ah, here it is. Thank you, Cher.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
There you go. I like that. I like that. All right. So again, I'm just going to start fluffing, and you can be rough with the ribbon.
Because
I've cable tied that sucker down, and it's not going to come apart. It's not going to get loose on you. See, you see that? And even if it does slip, I mean, there is still a slight potential of that ribbon or that loop slipping. You can always go back, and if it slips out in one direction, go back and pull it the other direction, make that adjustment. But I've crimped it pretty tight with the cable tie. It's not going to come undone. I can assure you of that. So again, and I'm going to put this on the table here. Whoop. I don't know if the camera can get a good view of that.
Well, you need to hold it up like a mum.
Well, I like to put mine on the table just to sort of round it out on a flat surface so I can actually see what's happening.
What is happening?
What is happening? All right, can you actually see what's going on here? I'm just sort of rounding that out. Now, I think I've showed people in the past where I've actually taken and trimmed off my tails, and I've actually dovetailed them or fishtailed them, which is always a very pretty look, especially if you have sharp scissors. And then of course, if you don't want to do that, you can always just take your tails and roll them in. Either way, it's a nice look. And then when you have a pretty underside on a tail or a ribbon, such as this gold against or on the back section of this brown, you can always roll that back into itself just to show that back off too. A lot of these ribbons are actually finished off very nicely. Like this corduroy pattern, for example, has a nice finished back on it too. So I'm going to roll that back into itself too. So there are so many different ways of finishing off your ribbon tails.
And when you're in a hurry, you don't necessarily finish off your tails. You just throw it up there.
Exactly.
And it still looks good.
Yes, it does.
That's the whole point of learning how to do a bow.
And again, when it comes to just rolling the ribbons, just roll them back into themselves and just pull it out a little bit. We like to have our tails just sort of hanging out as such, and I'll turn that around in just a second. I'm going to pull that out so you can see that. So that would be a nice bow, monochromatic tones, brown on brown. You can put this on a fall centerpiece, a fall wreath, a fall swag. You could put this on a door piece.
Fall tree.
Exactly. How pretty is that? And I'm not being biased. It's just a pretty combination.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. All right. Cher.
Okay. Mine is Halloween. And for those of you that are not from Texas, it seems like Texas is the only place that does a mum.
Yes.
I think. I'm not positive, but we have these things. They're called homecoming mums, and I really don't like this. It looks like a weird thing. Anyway, these mums are like these big flowers, and then they have all these streamers and things around them. Well, my Halloween bow is going to have this in the center of it. And I've already wired her neck. I tied the wire around her neck, which is underneath here, and came out here because I'm going to tie it in the center of my bow, just to make it a little more special than Michael's. The competition is thick here. Okay, I also start with my smaller ribbons, but I'm doing something just a little bit different. I'm overlapping. I'm doing monochromatic too.
Yes.
What is that? We were vibing today.
Right.
See, this one has no wire in it. But how I'm going to make it work, I'm going to lay it on top of this one, like this. And I'm going to show you. So see, this one, then this one, on top of each other. Now, I'm going to have a very short, well, actually a medium tail, because I don't want a center loop like Michael's has this, because I want to be able to put my witch head in the center.
Mm-hmm.
So I just squeeze all that together like that. I know you're wondering, what is she doing? This floppy thing's going to be there. It's going to be okay, I promise. Okay? Now, again, if I use Michael's standards, I want to be a little bit bigger. However, remember, we're going to have this head in here. So I don't want it to be too big, because my other loops are going to be a little bit bigger. Can you see the difference there? I mean, if I went way too big or too small. So, again, it's what you like. What do you like? Pinch together, twist, and I'm back to this. And I have cut 3.5 yards of each one of these.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have some tails. Where he had a center loop there, I'm only going to have these right here.
Bunny ears.
Look how great mine's finished off on the back. Black.
Yes, very pretty. Pretty black.
I'm going to do 4 loops because I want 4 loops. You can do however many you want, but this is what I'm going to do. And you don't have to add more ribbons if you don't want to. You can do whatever makes you happy.
So you already knew what you were doing ahead of time, so this is good. You had a plan, so you measured your ribbon accordingly, right? So you pre-cut your ribbon.
I did.
That's good.
But I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, look at all of this. However, I'm going to do odd numbers. So I'm going to do 2 and 3. I'll show you why in a second. And then I'm going to show you how I make double tails out of all of this. Find the end. Make sure you have a good overlap because you're going to be pinching it together. Oh no, what is she going to do here? I'll show you. Remember, this is the center bow.
You know, the funny thing is, I have to tell you, my spouse actually does this as well. My spouse actually works in the floral industry as well, fresh flowers. So when he makes bows, he actually does this.
Everybody does it different.
Yes.
And they all look great.
And there's no right
Ta-da!
way, there's no wrong way.
Now I'm going to add the other ribbons. Okay? Now, this is where I have to think. Do I want glittery, glittery, and plain, or do I want glittery, plain, glittery? Well, I'm going to do glittery, plain, glittery, because I think it looks nice. You have to do what you think looks nice. So, right back to before, and I also do my small tails opposite of each other, which I am doing. I tend to make my next layer tail the length of the loops. Okay, pinch. Loop. A little bit more. Pinch. Loop. Am I blowing your mind? Is that why you're so quiet?
I love watching you work, Cher. You inspire me.
La 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 la. Okay, this one I'm doing 2 of these and 2 of these. Remember I did 3 and 2, now I'm doing 2 and 2 with this tail.
You're confusing me, Cher. I'm confused.
Well, that's because your mind is blown.
Okay, all right.
Drink some coffee. Next one. Hey, this is my ribbon. Mr. Zombie over here. Hey, Michael, will you pull that off?
Oh, sure. See, I'm good for some things.
Some things. Again, see my shorter tail here? Opposite. About the length of that loop. See that? Okay. I'm gripping it so hard.
Loosen it up, Cher.
I can't.
Loosen it up. Loosen
Oh.
your grip.
A little bit bigger. We do ours very similar, except when
Different.
if I am making a Michael bow, I have to concentrate on making my loops much bigger. And another good point is if you're going to put a bow into something like the body of the tree, you do want bigger loops because you're going in and the tree itself is going to bring the bow like this.
Yes.
So you do want bigger loops sometimes. Sometimes you don't. Okay.
Are you going to do your trick again? Your double tails? Or no, you don't have enough ribbon.
Who says I don't have enough?
Oh, I don't know. Okay. You're going to make it work. All right.
Ta-da! Bring enough through. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. Like that.
You did it. I didn't think you could, but you did.
Well, that's what you get for underestimating me. The turtle's always the winner. Zip tie? That's a lot of ribbon there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zip ties are amazing. Back in the day,
Yes.
we had to use wire, and it would kill my hands. I also pull mine with pliers. And then trim the end. What? Okay. Again, I think I showed you my last one. See how it looks straight up and down like this? We're going to fluff it. I also, like Michael, bring all my long tails one direction, like the band. Ha ha ha. I have a little piece of extra here and I don't want it sticking out. Boom, gone. Okay. Again, looks like a hot mess for a minute, but just for a minute. Okay. Now, can you see this?
Yep.
Okay. Straight line. Don't fight against it. See how this one's already going this way? Just go that way. Be rough with it. Pull it. This one, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to leave this one in the center. Again, whatever direction it's going, just go with it. Now you're wondering, oh my gosh, what is she going to do with this? I can leave those on there like that, or,
Bam.
ta-da, I can do this. Oh my gosh, it's not going to stand up. Wait a second. Let me get done. Flip it over. Same thing. Don't fight it. And if your loop wants to do this, do it. Now, I'm not as concerned as Michael about making anything in the center because I'm going to put my witch head there. But the reason why I did a little bit off like I did, because I'm off, but no, because I want it to be round, but I want the center like this. See how it's kind of flat there? Because I want to be able to tie this witch head into the center.
You want me to help? Got it?
Pull it up. Pull it tight.
She's not coming out of there.
Teamwork
Yes.
makes the dream work.
That's right.
Check it out.
Beautiful.
Now, let me make some space. Now is when you can puff up your loops. You can nitpick it, whatever you want to do, trim your edges. I like to trim mine kind of close, the ones that are in the center. As you can see right here, see how it's like that close to her head? That's how I like mine. No right or wrong, just how I like it. Another one here. Maybe I want to do this one different. Maybe I want to do this at an angle. Okay, I want to do that one at an angle. Now, because that's what I feel like. This one, it's just folded like Michael's. I can do them all different. I can do anything I want because it's mine. Just go through, trim them all, however you want to do it. Make a mess, somebody will clean it up, probably me. Maybe I can talk Michael into it, I don't know.
I can do it. I clean.
Somebody's got
Yes.
to. And then I'm going to show it to you in 1 second. I have another one left. This one I'm going to do a little bit different. There's a witch in here.
Yes.
Flying around.
Here she goes. Bzzz.
My witch is going to take your witch out. I hate to tell you, but she don't tolerate none of that business. Okay. Now, this is why it reminds me of a mum.
Because you can wear it.
Because you can wear it if you want to.
Yes.
This is our Texas mums.
That's right. We're going steady.
Oh, we're going steady.
Yes.
Now, don't pick at it too much, because when you pick at it too much, then it looks like you picked at it too much. Okay? So, just pull all your tails down, see all of hers, and then when you tie it into your wreath, or whatever it is you're going to put it into, her head will go where it's supposed to go. And you're going to look fabulous in your Halloween mum.
I love it. It's beautiful.
It looks kind of like you, Michael.
Hey.
You can
She's
get all of
beautiful.
this product right here at CRAFTEX.
Yes.
Scissors, wire, ribbon,
I want to turn her around.
my work husband over here,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and
Unspoken for. Yeah.
we have some kitty cats. You pull the little tab, they make noise. We've got other witches. We got all kinds of fun things for you to
Ghouls and
come check
goblins
out,
And pumpkins and
as well as a lot of fall things. So come visit us, Cher,
Michael.
And we'll be glad to help you, or somebody else that's just as wonderful will help you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.